I don't know, first things that come to mind, what makes an offer irresistible?
See, people who pay attention. People who pay a lot of attention. People who pay a little of attention. So you do these 4 moves, you will scale your business 1,280%. It doesn't matter where you're at.
Can you break down those moves real quick?
Sure. So I always like to tell people I was an overnight success, but it was a 14-year night.
It was a long night.
That was a long night, bro. It was a long night. But like I got started as an entrepreneur selling insurance and investments, but I didn't know how to sell. And so it took me from October of 1985 to April of 1987 before I made my first sale. But I was doing a lot of presentations. I was just terrible. I didn't know I was terrible, but I knew if I could be terrible and I could keep on going, I could eventually be not terrible. And so eventually I got to be not terrible, and then I eventually got to be okay, and then I got to be good, and then I got to be the best in our office. And then after I made my first sale, it wasn't long, I was the top salesperson in our office every month. Yeah, and I understand why people have a negative connotation wrapped around the word sales, but they don't really feel negatively about the concept of sales. They feel negatively about their misperception of what sales is. Because most people erroneously think sales is talking people into buying something they don't want, don't need, and can't afford. And it feels yucky.
Yeah.
If I'm going to talk you into buying something you don't want, don't need, and can't afford, that feels yucky to me, and it feels yucky to you, so everybody feels yucky.
Right.
So everybody's yucked out. But sales is not convincing somebody to buy something. Sales is persuading somebody. And here's the difference. When I convince somebody to do something, I am attempting to get someone to do something I desire them to do for my reasons. When I persuade somebody, I help them make a decision they already desire to make for their own reasons. So if I'm selling something to you, I'm selling it to you for you.
Good.
If I'm convincing you, I'm selling something to you for me. That's the difference. If someone wants to become good at something that they're bad at, you have to discipline yourself to do it while it's not working long enough to figure out how to make it work. And what's really interesting is a person can only be great at sales when they obsess over the solution to somebody else's problem.
I don't know, first things that come to mind, what makes an offer irresistible?
Well, to me, the first thing that makes an offer irresistible is the person already wanted the thing before they ever knew I existed, right? People ask me all the time, they say, Myron, how do I find people to sell my stuff to? You're asking the wrong question. Because there are already right now hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands, millions potentially of people in the world who would love to buy what you'd love to sell if they only knew you existed. So while you're asking, how do I find people to sell my stuff to, as an entrepreneur, you could be asking a better question and getting a better answer and a better solution. And that better question is this: how can I make myself more findable for the millions of people who already want to buy what I already want to sell? I call worry wasting present energy on a future outcome that's undesirable to me. Worrying about something not working makes it not work, because worrying about it robs you of the energy that could make it work. But you wasted it on worrying about it not working. By the way, if you're focused, what is worry? It's like you see an unfavorable outcome later so clearly that it creates a physical reaction in your body now. Right? Mm-hmm. So if I can see that unfavorable outcome in the future in my mind right now, it requires the same amount of emotional energy to deal with it as it would if it were happening right now. But it's not happening right now, so all of that energy is wasted. See, people who pay attention. People who pay a lot of attention. People who pay a little of attention. Because Jesus said the heart follows the pocketbook. Where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. There's no lack. Nothing's missing. And when something seems to be missing, the only thing that's missing is your awareness.
Right.
See, people think they lack access to abundance. You don't lack access to abundance. You lack awareness of the access you have to the abundance. In nature, everything grows by multiplication. Nothing grows by addition.
Yep.
So when they became aware of what they weren't aware of, the next month their business did 60,000. The next month it did 101. The next month it did. So they didn't lack the ability to do the things. They just lacked awareness of the things to do. And so many people who are watching this interview right now, you think something's missing. That's why people go out and they try to get, because they think something's missing. So I never try to get anything because I know nothing's missing. So I realize that there's more than enough for everybody to have more than enough, and there'd still be more than enough left over. So if I show up and serve, Serving is like sowing a seed. And if you sow a seed, you reap a harvest. So you do these 4 moves, you will scale your business 1,280%. And it doesn't matter where you're at.
Can you break down those moves real quick?
Sure. Move number 1, lead generation. Move number 2, lead conversion. Move number 3, customer ascension. Move number 4, customer retention. What does that mean? Lead generation is number 1. The number 1 reason your business is not growing is because you don't have anybody to sell stuff to. So you have to generate a lead. What is a lead? A lead is a person who's leaning in and willing to listen to your offer. That's a lead. If you're not generating leads, you don't have anybody to present an offer to. Move number 2, lead conversion. Convert means to change something into something it wasn't before. So a lead is a lead, but a customer is a person who used to be a lead, but now they've bought something. Of the number of leads you generate, a certain number of them convert into sales. So we go from lead generation to lead conversion. Well, if we're going to lead conversion, the next move can't be about leads because they're no longer a lead. So you convert the leads into a sale with a core product offer. The last move is the customer retention offer. And that's called continuity. That's where you sell something to somebody once, but they pay for it for the rest of their life.